Welcome, Calradian kings, queens, mercenaries, and peasants. Today's mod diary, as you can probably tell, will be in a video format in contrast to the normal Reddit post. My hope is that this format will make it easier for us to show off and explain our changes without walls of text. With that being said, welcome to the 10th mod diary of Calradian Kings. For some of you, this map looks familiar. For others, maybe not so much. On the map right now are the coat of arms of the 6 Warband kingdoms, as well as some realms most of you will find interesting to play. Unfortunately, due to team size and personal life things, we'll have to flesh out these new realms more over the next year. In the meantime, let's go over the 6 Warband realms and their most notable lords. For cultures, we wanted to show an evolution in the cultural demographics of Calradia over the past 170 years. For those who played through the Rhodok Rebellion events, you'll recognize the Swadians and Rhodoks. And for Warband players, you'll recognize the Vagyrs, Saranids, Nords, and Kurgats, the latter of whom were already present in 1084. For the rest of the continent, though, we wanted to show what a Calradia would look like without its hegemonic empire to enforce cultural homogeneity. The Visocal, Almacal, and Lassocal are the locals of the respective regions in the former empire. Without an empire to enforce a written and spoken language, the people of the former empire diverged. The Calradians are the result of a cultural hybridization between the Kuzaks in the east with the Lycarian Calradians. This occurred when the nomads invaded and supplanted the southern empire's ruling monarchy. The Great Horde, made up of the Yogus, Kresh Norhe, and Yatan Borhe, only entered Calradia less than 100 years ago on horseback, plundering, razing, and pillaging. Having since settled in the western steppe, they've displaced the local populations. In an effort to appease the rebellious and stubborn Kohenic tribes, the Yatan Borhe Khan has since gifted lands to the people. In the northern steppe, the Utlar and Okbek have since taken back their pastoral lands from the Kuzak invaders who fled from the Great Horde. Now, however, they are subjects of the Nordic King of Tial. Sturgians in the east have since blended further into the Minodorians, who have since supplanted their cousins in size and tenacity. In the eastern Nahasa, cultural borders have changed little. However, the Darshi have since made encroachments on Danustica, and now a Shah resides in its mosquito-ridden walls. In the southern waste of the Nahasa, the Narwawi and Demerun are ruled by 2 sultans respectively. They vie for control of access to trade routes from the east to the west. Calradia has undergone a significant change in regards to faiths and religions over the past 170 years. Thanks to the proselytization efforts of the Ember Flames and the fall of the Empire, the persecuted cult of Darusos turned into a proper religion. Darusanism is analogous to the Catholicism of the Middle Ages with its own papacy and crusades. Now let's go over some of the new faiths we created and added to the map. With the new update comes a new part of the map for players to play in, the West Nahasa. This update was in development before the announcement of War Cells, so we only had the time and work hours for a single map extension. But let's dive in. So let's go over the cultures first. When developing the cultures of the West Nahasa, I wanted to pull direct inspiration from the numerous cultures and faiths of West Africa while respecting their history. And I even learned more about them in this time too. The West Nahasa itself is a tapestry of numerous faiths with their own ways of looking at the world. Some were directly and respectfully inspired by religions located in West Africa. We wanted to avoid a one-to-one comparison when creating these faiths. Sure, they're directly inspired, but we wanted to create something unique. So here we are, near the end of the mod diary. I also finally got around to creating a roadmap graphic for our next update this year, the Systems and Mechanics update. I named it as such because we're working to overhaul parts of the mod as well as add entirely new things for you to try. For the first one, we have contracts and events. I have been looking around at how contracts work, and I am hoping to have a few more developed and ready for the update. For events, we want to bring more people who are interested in writing events for us, and if they have experience coding them too, that would be amazing. But we want to create new flavor events, especially for the new region we've added, but also for existing regions that have been part of the mod from near the start. Second part, Man-at-Arms. We're working to create new culture-specific troops, which aren't just tied to heritage. I personally want to see if we can create new unit graphics, not just the Man-at-Arms icons, but 3D models for those unique units as well. We're also going to work on unit rebalancing with new units for landless adventurers like the Brotherhood of the Woods or the Beni Zalal, and new men-at-arms for cultures in the West Nahasa and the steppe regions. Third part, world events. As you may have seen in our Discord teaser trailer and in this video previously, there is a volcano. And you better believe there will be disaster events related to that volcano. I hope we can use All Under Heaven's new disaster mechanics to create something that'll scar Calradian for generations. Be ready for the ground to quake. I have been wanting to add a struggle event for Hus and Folk between the Darshi, Calradians, and Azerai. The city has gone through hands numerous times, and it would be a great starting point for one of our first struggles. In the event the Calradian Empire does not reunite or utterly collapses, we want events and decisions to reflect the new path of Calradia as it truly enters a new Dark Age. With the inclusion of the Great Horde in 1257, we wanted to adopt the Mongolian invasion events to have the Great Horde invade sometime between 1084 and 1257. Maybe even have a game rule to change when that does happen. Finally, we have plans for a unique apocalyptic level plague that will devastate the world at a given point in time. There will be decisions events related to it. Just remember to be aware of not only this plague, but also that volcano we previously mentioned. Calradia has some dark days ahead. Fourth part, reworks and fixes. Keep sending us those bug reports. We love them. We also intend to fix any discrepancies in county development between 1084 and 1257. While fixing that, we'll also be trying to add familial connections between families in 1257 and 1084. Right now, most families in the 6 Warband kingdoms end after, say, their great-grandfather or grandfather. I also want to include the southern regions of the Khuzaits into the wider Great Steppe situation, but I'm still working out how to avoid snow in those regions. It's a tough situation, no pun intended. As for title hierarchy changes, we plan to overhaul the default de jure structure of the existing kingdoms, empires, and duchies. We're not adding or removing anything that vanilla doesn't already do, we're just doing structural changes of existing titles. More will be revealed in time. The final part, the Calradian Senate. So, I've recently learned from Gale, the founder of the Crisis Confederation mod, that it's possible to create something akin to a Senate with the situation mechanics by utilizing the way the game does it with the dynastic cycle in China. With this information now, the dream of a working Calradian Senate is so much closer to becoming reality. Now we don't have to worry too much about designing a Senate from scratch. Participants in said Senate would be senators, those with senatorial roles like oligarch or monarchist, and the emperor themselves. I still want to work out how cycles would work, but perhaps for now it's whoever has majority control of the Senate. There would be a balance of power between the Senate and the Emperor with unique events and decisions tied to that. We'll also try to create and implement Emperor-tiered titles for the Senate that could include things like a consul or even a Calradian version of the Princeps Senatus. Maybe even official offices of the Empire itself, much like the ministries in China. Influence may be a currency utilized not only in the admin government, but also used in senatorial decisions and events. Many of the mechanics and how the Senate will operate will be based on the Roman Senate, but will be gamified for player enjoyment, first and foremost. As I said previously in this video, the West Nahasa map expansion took up most of the free time we had, so we would want to avoid doing anything that big for a while. However, if we did a map expansion, then this would be the order we would prefer to do them in. This does not necessarily mean 3 map expansions in this update though. So, that's the 10th mod diary of Calradian Kings. Previously, I said we are in need of people who want to help us write and create events. Here are some of the other roles though we are looking for in people. The link to our Discord is in the description of this video. To apply to the team, join the Discord and head over to the Join the Team channel and apply from there. I hope you enjoyed this format, though it may be the one and only time I do it like this. With that being said, you can expect the Warband update, not the systems update, to reach your hands next weekend. A specific time and date will be posted in the Discord. Thank you, Calradian Kings, Queens, and Peasants. Have a wonderful day.